Listen,
But like
now that you brought up my boy Richard, can we please talk about, if we're gonna keep talking about men that got the Riz, can we please talk about McDreamy? Mm-hmm. This man showed up to that award show.
This was a while back, but
bruh,
my dude, how old is he? Like,
he's like in his 60s.
Is he 60?
I think so.
But I don't know, because I sent you the video of like him throughout the years, and I never realized that
he looks better now.
He had the George Clooney effect, better than George Clooney.
Better than George Clooney?
Better than George. Look at George Clooney now.
George Clooney look good.
Yeah, but like
George, if you want to talk about the Riz, my boy George Clooney bagged a diplomat.
Yeah, but
you know
like,
who that woman is?
I feel like Amal really be like, I'd be like, oh, you know, Amal's husband on him, rather than like George.
What you say? What are you saying?
Like, I would reference him as Amal's husband
100%,
rather than like
100%
George Clooney's wife. So like, to me, George Clooney ain't doing enough.
She bagged him, not the other way. Wait, is that
he bagged her.
He bagged her, not the other way around.
He is the reacher.
He is the reacher, 100%. That woman is next level.
In that? Do you believe in that? That there's always somebody that's reaching and one is settling?
100%. 100%.
Okay,
but I also think that there is reacher in terms of status, and there's a reacher in terms of essence, like personality.
Essence.
Right? Because like you can be top status, right? Like say Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg is like high status because he's rich, he's a billionaire. So like a regular girl, doesn't matter how much, like a commoner, a proletariat, right? It can go and reach for a Mark Zuckerberg, right?
Yeah.
However, Mark Zuckerberg might be the reacher in terms of social capital. Like if he can't own a room, if he's socially awkward, if he's not confident, if people don't like gravitating towards him in public spaces, and she's the life of the party, then he might be reaching for her.
I see what you mean.
In that sense, right? So I do think that there's a reacher and a settler, but I also think that it's much more complicated than like a holistic reacher and settler.
I see what you mean.
Right? I can totally see a world where somebody is like extremely financially stable, extremely like well off in certain aspects of life, but are reaching for people that have so much social capital that it would be impossible for them to be around those people without feeling intimidated by their confidence and their presence. The only reason I say that is because there's been plenty times in my life, in examples, and I'm not trying to use this as a cocky moment or anything like that, but I've seen how just by sheer confidence in a public space, you can garner a lot of eyeballs and attention from people that would otherwise never talk to you, only because you're in a position where you are gathering people's attention. Yeah. Think about an artist is a very good example. There is a common stereotype, I'm sure, a romanticization of, say, like a singer, songwriter, guitarist that sings like really great. Like they might be financially like ridiculously on the bottom. Right? But some people might look at that and be like, oh my God, fucking voice of an angel, like blah, blah, blah. And they might like, right? Because in that moment, when they're doing their thing, they're demanding a certain presence, a certain essence. They're demanding a certain level of like gravitas in that moment. And that the other people that are watching might be like, oh man, I want to be around that. I want to be around that kind of environment. I want to be around, right? Those people are reaching, right? If you put him, you take him off of that theater. If you take him out of that environment, and now you're at a fundraiser, right? The person that has more money, more well versed around those circles, the musician that's nobody might be like, oh shit, like this isn't my vibe. Yeah. And in that mode, you're reaching.
I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's a constant like switching.
It's a tug and pull, right? But
yes,
a push and pull. But so I do believe that there's a reacher and a settler, but I think it's more complicated than just like superficially speaking. I think that people that match the best are reachers and settlers in their own realms. Does that make sense? I think people that match the best are probably match really well because in one domain they're the settler, And in another domain, they're the reacher.
I think that makes sense.
Does that make sense?
There's always a constant equalization of it. It's
100%.
It's never just like super one way than the other.
100%. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Right.
I agree. I will say McDreamy though looked great.
Oh my God. This man made me insecure over the fucking phone.
Looked so good. I was just like, wait, hold. I think you sent me something, and I sent you something before even knowing that you sent me something.
Right.
So, like, that's the effect that McDreamy had, and I feel like I don't know. Like, I'm a big person on like peaking, like at different stages of your life. Like, I don't think that there's ever like
Man, that man looked good.
Like, I think that if you can peak in your Clooney years, you did better than anybody else.
That's Asian like fine wine.
Yeah.
Bro, that man, I wouldn't be able to be in the same room with that man.
I would be very much like, oh my God.
I would feel insecure as a man. I'm going to be honest with you right now.
As a woman, I would be like, I don't think I would, yeah.
I would be like,
I wouldn't even be able to think.
Dude, what are you doing? You fucking it up for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like there's
I could be with my girl, and if this man's is around me, I'd be like, we leaving.
We're leaving.
What are we doing?
Disrespect.
What are we doing? I'm not going to have you just wafting this air.
Like,
What is secondhand McDreamy? Fuck out of here. I got to turn insecure real quick. That man is... that
turn
man
into
is...
Jonah Hill for like a minute.
Real quick.
You're
real
crossing my boundaries.
Hey.
My boundaries are being crossed right now.
This is my emotional truth. Respect my emotional truth. Bruh, that man is an attractive man.
It's a very attractive man. He's beautiful.
It is. That is genetic lottery
Stunning.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I will say, though, he's definitely a Clooney because his, like,
I still think Clooney takes it, but...
Well, I think, like, the usage of Clooney obviously, like, makes it.
Yeah, he pioneered that.
Like, he pioneered it. Like, like if you're gonna talk about a man like peaking in his like later years, it's because you're gonna say he's pulling a Clooney.
It's a Clooney move right there.
He's pulling a George Clooney. Like, you never. Even people like Tom Selleck, who looked better in his
Pierce Brosnan,
like all of these men, I'm
yeah.
oh yeah, that's George Clooney. That's the George Clooney effect.
Clooney
of
for
like,
sure.
Come on.
What's the James Bond? The latest James Bond? He's on the older side. Daniel Craig.
Ooh, that man too. Ooh, all of these men. Yes, I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
Who I feel like a lot of men now have been
Butler, Gerard.
Speaking of Gerard Butler, I did want to cross over into that based off of the conversation we were having earlier about heroes and like villains and stuff like that, which we will get to in a little bit. But he is one of them.